And today my guest is Ian MacLeod.
Yes, MacLeod.
I said it right. It's like I always cringe. They're like, did I say it right?
It's all good. At some point, like people kind of like lose their way, and they just like the first thing they want to do is just start blaming, right? And they never just grind it. So for example, like in Korea, when they graduate high school, they have one test they take, right? And this one test dictates what university they go to, which inherently dictates like what kind of life they're gonna have, right? So Hyung just basically means older brother. So I would never like call you like Renar, like I would just say Hyung.
Yeah, just call me older brother, it's fine. Just be very loud and articulate.
Basically,
Every time you see me in Nirvana now, that's my older brother, everyone, say hi.
Yeah.
Someone says blew out their knees. What does that exactly mean, blowing out your knee?
So usually it's the ligaments, you know. So there's four main ligaments: the ACL, PCL, LCL, MCL. And so the PCL is the one that I tore, and that's supposed to be the most difficult one to tear. Basically, what they want you to do is don't move, right? Because the less you move, the less risk you are at getting injured, and the less likely that they'll get sued. And so they won't actually like push you to recover as fast as like what a professional athlete would do to recover.
Yeah, wear masks, sit at home. What about training? What about all those things? Eat healthy, you know. And he's just going and literally shouting and screaming, "Come on, people, wake up! These are the things we need to focus on."
But that's the thing, though, is that there's no money. There's no money in being like, "Hey, you got to get more sleep." You know, there's like no money in saying like, "Hey, you need to go out and play a little bit." And so coming with a name, like I just talked with everybody that I knew that came to Bali, and everybody would give like one word to describe their experience in Bali, and a lot of people would say like happy or joy or paradise, but it wasn't really like, I couldn't call my gym like joy gym or like happy gym, you know.
No one was like, do you want to go to the happy gym? So how come it's happy? Well, every time you're there, you're happy.
Instagram is like flexibility.research, and he puts out like a lot of really good research information on flexibility, which is not something that I'm not gonna spend thousands and thousands of hours looking at research papers, but I can look at someone like him who I trust to look at that research and then give me a lot of the information in a very condensed way, and it's like that's something I'm willing to pay for.
Yeah, the greatest thing was the skill trade. It was used like a currency.
Yeah.
You teach me how to do cartwheel, I will teach you how to do boxing. You teach me how to do rings, I will teach you to do how to handstand. And I was seeing that all the time.
Patrick, she does a ton of really good information on heat shock and cold shock therapy.
That name is just like from podcast from Joe Rogan's podcast.
So I've been following her for a really long time, and she's got some really, really good content. Almost like every 2 weeks I was doing an IV drip. Every week I was doing float tank. I was doing like ice bath, hot bath, sauna, like every day. I was doing like red light therapy. I was doing oxygen chamber. I was just doing all these things, and eventually just came so much that I was like stressed out from doing all this recovery. So any vegetable oils and seed oils, you need to get rid of that, you know. So like at our cafe, we only use coconut oil, olive oil, and butter.
Right. So sunflower oil, I know for a long time that it's
no
shit.
Sunflower oil,
and it's disgusting as well.
Yeah, it's
sunflower
disgusting.
oil stinks.
So no sunflower oil, no palm oil, there's no seed oils, refined flour, and refined sugars. Just get rid of all that stuff. And if you just avoid those three things, it's gonna pretty much count out like 99% of all the products in the supermarket. How many people do we know that are born with like just what we think is like, wow, that talent level is so high, and the work ethic is just not there, right? Like their discipline is not there, and they just don't live up to what they were, you know, probably meant to be. The one idea of the hell with relationship to this is your afterlife is like you meet the best version of yourself, the person that you could have been, right? It's like there could be a variety of different variations of this, but like you could have been like the best musician in the world, or you could have been like this, but you didn't live up to any of it, right? And it's like then you have like these levels of like regret. You cannot control other people's opinion of you, and so it's like if you can't control something like that and you have a very minimal amount of influence on it, why would you care? From a critical thinking perspective, is like writing will help you get better at critical thinking, and that's something like Jordan Peterson talks about. Right? It's like learning to write is like to help people actually think.